Thank you, all the speakers, and thank you for the audience for joining us today. I would like to invite Mr. G.V. Sriramam, who's the CEO of Neo Geo Info Technologies and Secretary General of the Association of Geospatial Industries, to give his opening introductory remarks.
Thank you, Megha. Am I audible and visible?
Yes.
Thank you very much. Good morning, everybody, and a warm welcome to this webinar on release of this water report, which is actually titled "Use of Geospatial Technologies at the Role of Geospatial Technologies in the Water Sector in India." First of all, I would like to introduce myself, Sriramam, from Neo Geo Info Technologies. I am also currently the Secretary General for AGI. First of all, I would like to welcome Sri Rajiv Ranjan Mishraji, who is the Director General of NMCG, who has obliged to release this report as well as to give a keynote address. Also, welcome, sir. And I would also welcome Mr. Mathuria, who is ED Technical NMCG, who is going to give an address on how geospatial technologies are being used in NMCG. Without taking much of the time, I would like to briefly introduce this report. AGI, Association of Geospatial Industries, is an industry body which is a non-profit organization which has its members from all spheres of geospatial technologies, be it location intelligence, GIS software, or GNSS, or Earth observation, so on and so forth. So this association is representing the entire gamut of geospatial companies from India. We have sector-specific committees who are working with various governments and the industry to come out with solutions which could help the government agencies to implement geospatial technology in their projects in a very suitable manner. So we have a water sector committee, we have similarly an urban committee, we have a committee for utilities, we have many committees in which members are from various companies who are working in this particular field and who have been working with these government agencies. We are trying to understand how or what kind of
online.
So the committees are mandated to understand what kind of mission critical projects are going on in this particular sector, and also how special technologies can further benefit the usage of in these projects. So in this report, we have covered basically many water in India. As we all understand, water is a very crucial aspect of human life. And in India, we depend a lot on the rainfall that is giving most of the water. But we still fail to collect this water, and we only collect about 8% of this water in our reservoirs and groundwater. So there are many aspects where we can deploy geospatial technologies. These could include river basin management, watershed management, as we call it, flood management, and groundwater recharge, because we are drawing more water from the ground rather than how much we actually recharge this groundwater aquifers. So in all these aspects, geospatial technologies play a very, very crucial role. So this report tried to cover all those things. So this is the basic introduction about this report, and the committee has put in a lot of work to come out with this report. And now I would like Mr. Agendra Kumar, who is the president of AGI, to give his address, giving a little more details about this report. Agendra.
Yeah, thank you, Sriramam, and good morning, everyone. There are some people who also joined this webinar, so a very good morning to all the ladies and gentlemen who are participating in this short event. It's my pleasure to welcome you all to this short virtual function. The objective is to release a report which has been prepared by AGI in collaboration with several departments and government bodies who are involved in water security area in the country. I'll also like to welcome and thank Mr. Rajiv Ranjan Mishra, Director General of National Mission for Clean Ganga. and Mr. Mathuria, he's the Executive Director Technical of National Mission for Clean Ganga, for kindly agreeing to join us, participate in this event, and release this report. As my colleague Sriramam mentioned, water is a very important sector, and it's one of the key focus of AGI and its member companies. And this is the first report which of this year. It's not been easy to prepare these kind of reports or carry on the activities, especially when we are working from different places. However, this sectoral committee that we had for water sector, they did a fairly good job. There was a webinar which was planned, and a lot of people participated, and many government departments participated, and then a lot of one-to-one discussions were done with the industry as well as different government departments in central government as well as states to understand the challenges, understand all the government programs, and how geospatial companies from geospatial sector can participate in those programs and help in achieving the goals of these programs. Water sector is a very key sector for our economy and sustainability. India has about 17% of global population, but only about 4% of freshwater resources. So this makes it very challenging for us as a country and for our government to manage water resources. Of course, Government of India has been making a lot of efforts for many years through organizations like Center Water Commission, Center Groundwater Board, National Mission for Clean Ganga, and many other state government organizations in different states to conserve, manage, and develop more water resources to support the country's water resource requirement. And geospatial technologies have been used in many programs, whether it was WARIS, which happened a few years ago, or even now various government agencies are using geospatial technology. And we as a member of geospatial community are very happy and proud to be associated in these government programs, and we would like to participate wherever else possible in supporting the initiatives which are being taken by the government and taking steps towards water security for the country. So this report is a very collaborative effort, collaborative approach. Of course, this idea came from AGI, but the whole water sector participated in that, and Mr. Rajiv Ranjan Mishra ji and Mr. Mathuria ji have been personally involved in many government programs and activities for water conservation and support and supporting the initiatives. And they also have been guiding the sectoral committee while this report was being created. So industry will be happy to have more such collaborative activities and work towards achieving water security for the country. So with this, I would like to invite Mr. Rajiv Ranjan Mishra ji, Director General of National Mission for Clean Ganga, to deliver his keynote address. Thank you.
Thank you. A very good morning to all of you, Mr. Agendra Kumar, Mr. Sriraman, Megha Dutta ji, and my colleague DP Mathuria and Piyush Gupta from NMCG, and also all other delegates, all other participants who have joined us. A very, very warm welcome and a very good morning to all of you. As Mr. Agendra Kumar very rightly said, it's a kind of short session to launch this book. But this is a very important book. As has been explained that this AGI, the Association of Geospatial Industries, they are engaged in various activities, and they have different committees to work on water, urban issues, etc., etc. And it really gives me a lot of pleasure to be with you, because as many of you who are associated with us, you know, Namami Ganga is a mission which actually works in different areas. Though we are located in the Water Resources Department or Ministry of Jal Shakti, apart from water, we are also engaged in several activities related to the urban issues and also environmental issues, including even agriculture. So this is a really very good opportunity for me also to see this book. First of all, before I share my views, I must really congratulate and compliment your team. And I know this has been a difficult time for all of us, trying to work, engage with people in the time of this pandemic. And you have still been able to contact different sectors, different mission people, and come up with a very nice book. I had a chance to just glance through this book. So I think even if we are going to release just now, let me share some of my thoughts on this book before I come to the water sector. I think it's a very, very readable book, because I opened this book and then within an hour or so, I mean, normally you read executive summary, 1 or 2 places, and then that's end of reading a book. But this is a book which a person who has interest in the subject can read from beginning to end in one go. I mean, this has been written in such a good readable manner, and it's very good reference book for anyone who is working in the water sector. Though you have written it from the perspective of geospatial technology and industry, but actually at one place, what all programs are going on by the government, what all missions are going on, in nutshell, what exactly is their key objective, what is their status as far as use of high technology or new technology is concerned. I think one gets all these issues plus the problems of the sector, and it comes up with a recommendation and also some brief case studies. So I think it's a great job you will have done, your team has done, and then I think it will be very useful for our mission and my colleagues in the mission also. Even if they are not directly working on GIS sector, still it will be a very good reference for them to refer to have a look at it and then get into details as and when they require it. So I think once again, I really compliment your team for coming up with such a good piece of informative book. And it also actually raises few issues and also comes up with a very good set of recommendations. Now, coming back to water sector, as we all know, and I think people have also mentioned the importance of water sector, perhaps in this gathering, I need not overemphasize. We all understand water is life, water is essential for us, and where we stand as a country. See, what we achieve in water sector or sanitation and water sector will actually reflect upon the whole global achievement of sustainable development goals. So I think we are important, and our achievement, our priorities are going to be important, not only for us, but for the entire global scenario. Now, as we all know, I think it was told that we are about 17-18% of the global population, and we have access to something like 4% of water resources, global water resources. That's one thing. Second thing, we also are aware about the scenario of groundwater. We abstract, perhaps we have the highest abstraction of groundwater in the world. In fact, USA and China put together, what they utilize, we utilize more than that. Now, is it unlimited? There has to be a limit, and then how we can access that, how we can know it. Now, people do not understand aquifer. We do not have that kind of clear idea that what is happening to the underground water. Are they getting depleted, or how much we can use? Of course, we can use, and there is also replenishment by the nature. But again, we have to understand that whole dynamic balance. Again, there is a relationship between surface water and groundwater. The river flow is also linked with the groundwater, and then the base flow. All those things are there. But I think this is a complicated situation, and we have to manage that. Another hand, if you look at the agriculture, a sector which actually abstracts maximum water from any river. Ganga is no exception. I mean, right from 1850s onwards, the Ganga Canal came up. It was one of the largest canal system in the world at that point of time, which was developed. And now we know very well from Haridwar, almost 80%, more than 80% of water gets extracted by this canal system. So river, the issue of environmental flow are there. The issue of groundwater replenishment is there. The issue of improving water use efficiency is there in the agriculture, because ultimately we have to improve that. So that's another challenge. So there are several challenges which we are facing. Rainfall. We know the rainfall is the main source of water for us. For Now we are also aware about the impact of climate change, even if the overall rainfall might not change much, but it has become erratic. So I think there are issues of sudden downpour, urban flooding. There are several issues relating with the water sector, and the real challenge is what? Perhaps the water resources are not so much scarce. I mean, if we can manage them well, we still have enough water. But the challenge is that of management. And when you say the challenge is that of management, challenge is that of water management, then how we can improve our management? And that is where the role of technology becomes very important. I don't say that technology only will be the solution, but technology is a very, very important solution for us. How we can utilize the technology. And when I say technology, I will also just, because we are going to talk a lot about the new technology, modern technology, geospatial technology, let's also not forget what was our traditional wisdom. So some of the traditional water management practices also needs to be maybe documented by use of some of your good technological tools. So I think it has to be a very good combination of respecting the traditional wisdom and utilizing the modern technology, the satellite technology, and then various other geospatial techniques. So I think that has been the important challenge. That has been the important priority for us also. We are also aware that geospatial industry is a growing industry. I have myself seen from one of the projects which we took up with the Survey of India. I think it is one of the perhaps the high quality project, because we are looking at very high resolution mapping and also of a very large size. So I think we could see the dynamism of the industry, how many teams came, even the cost got little, it became cost effective and all that. So I think what NMCG did, or this project I am giving you a case study, similar things are happening across this sector. Now we have very nicely summarized, you have done a good research. There are several initiatives which is actually going to be very, very, the industry should be very optimistic, seeing the interest of government into that. See, the geospatial technology or satellite technology, right from Honorable Prime Minister, who has given top priority to this. I think a few years back, there was a conference in which Honorable PM also addressed, and all secretaries, all departments, all ministries were asked to present that how they are going to use geospatial technology. So I think you have got patronage, you have got the guidance from the topmost level. Now there are several, coming back to water sector, you have got several missions, several departments working on it. There is a consolidation in water sector with Ministry of Jal Shakti coming, and under one umbrella we have got now drinking water, rural drinking water, we have got irrigation, water resources, we have got sanitation, rural sanitation is also part of it, we have got river rejuvenation, whether it is Ganga or any other river in the country, everything has come under one ministry. We have got groundwater also under the same ministry, and then there are several good big missions, innovative missions. Apart from Namami Gange, you have got Jal Jeevan Mission, a very large mission on drinking water, trying to reach out to every household in the rural areas. And again, there is a huge emphasis given there about mapping of the networks, pipe network, monitoring. So I think GIS and all this technology have a lot of role to play. Then you have got for the groundwater, Atal Bhujal Yojana is there, National Aquifer Mapping Program is there, and now in the urban sector, Amrut program also, if you look at the Amrit and you have summarized it also, there is also a lot of emphasis upon use of utilization of GIS. Now Jal Jeevan Mission Urban is coming up, Swachh Bharat Mission Urban is coming up, I mean the part 2. And all these programs, there is enough place for and enough importance for utilization of these technology. So once you look at that, and then someone rightly in the beginning you said basin management. Now in Namami Gange, we are basically looking at the basin. So when you look at the basin management challenges, I think these technologies have a lot of role to play. What we are doing through the Survey of India mapping is basically trying to look at very high resolution data for Ganga, I think 10 kilometers both sides, and several other projects which we are doing. Maybe Mr. Mathuria will speak a little more about that, but I am just trying to give you a kind of the overall approach. Now we are looking at, in future, we have to move at some of these more basin management related things. Ministry also is working on creating a kind of legal and institutional framework. And we are actually going to work on environmental flow. We have already done a lot of work on the e-flow relating to Ganga. but now we are working with the other rivers, Yamuna, Ram, Ganga, and other things. And that is where we can also look at some sub-basins and try to look at how we can utilize water use efficiency, how we can do all this mapping. So I think that there is a huge scope of utilization of these technologies. We have already done a lot of utilization, and we have actually a very nice partnership with several agencies which are basically national geospatial organizations, whether it is Survey of India, whether it is NSRC, or whether it is ISRO. And we also have a very nice good productive association with your organization, and also with some of these companies which interact with us. And I think you are also part of organizing some quizzes and supporting some of these online quiz, etc. in past. So I think we thank you for your engagement. I will also like to emphasize it's not very usual that when a notification is issued, a legal notification is issued, this particular technology and this particular aspect also finds a mention. So when NMCG was declared an authority under EP Act, and we were notified as an authority under EP Act, and then that order laid down a lot of fundamental principles for river rejuvenation in the country. And in that order, there are lots of long-term visualization how a river has to be rejuvenated. And whether it is question of pollution abatement, Nirmal Ganga, or whether it is question of improving the flow in the river or ecology of the river, Aviral Ganga, we have very clearly, very formally written down in that authority notification that we would be utilizing geospatial technology, satellite technology, and all the modern means of technological improvement would be given enough priority and they will be utilized. So I think that very clearly gives a vision for us, because that's our mandate. And based upon that, we have moved with an approach which is basically trying to make decisions based upon evidence. So whether it is mapping through Survey of India of the floodplain or 10 kilometer both sides, or mapping of different attributes of the basin, we have actually tried to do that. And all those mapping, they are very diverse mapping. They are microbial mapping by NIRI, or they may be cultural mapping, the cultural assets of Ganga, whether it is natural or built heritage or intangible heritage, district wise. We are doing all of them as a kind of GIS ready database. So I think that has been our approach, whether it is biodiversity mapping through Wildlife Institute of India or forestry, we utilize GIS. Whether it is aquifer mapping, some small projects which we have taken apart from the ministry doing under Atal Bhujal Yojana and National Aquifer Mapping Program. I think everything which we are doing, we are trying to develop a kind of data. We are trying to develop an information set which is GIS ready, so that we can integrate. We are also, in fact, certain very interesting thing, we are working with SIFRI trying to do mapping of fish resources. Again, they have also done it with GIS data set. So several things are happening, and these are all, then apart from that, we are also using for monitoring, whether real-time water quality monitoring or wetland monitoring, etc., etc. So I think these are some of the areas. Project preparation, we will also be very much benefited if we utilize these kind of technology for making of the DPR. So I think these are various options. Now, before I close, I was also reflecting, okay, I think everything looks very, very, very positive, and then everything is looking very nice, and it's all a lot of cooperation among different people. But I think a forum like you should also look at some of the challenges, which you in your book also you have tried to reflect. What exactly you perceive as your role now? I've been setting some targets for next few years about what these industries should do. And I was also trying to reflect, and not only you, I was thinking the role of policymaker, the role of all these organizations I mentioned, geospatial organizations in the country, whether it is Survey of India or ISRO or NSRC, etc., etc. I think, and then the industries. See, the way we are looking at future, the way all these programs are unfolding, the way the country is going digital, the way country is giving priority to digital India, I think the scope of business, the scope of industry will be unlimited. But now there are still some sort of misgivings may be there. Some of your customers, some of the government departments, some of the users, some of the individuals may not be fully conversant with these this technology and their potential. So perhaps there will be need to do more hand-holding, more engagement, more customer orientation, and I think you are doing that. I'm not saying that it's not happening, but perhaps we'll have to look at that, and we will also have to look at adapting. See, there is a limit to growth. There is a theory that anything cannot keep on growing. You have to keep on doing some sort of intervention to see the change environment and come up with a new trigger, so that new business develops and new technology again gets in. This is the time when we are talking, we are working, we are applying artificial technology. Internet of Things are there. There are several things which are there in our mind, and these things are going to change the world. The scenario will change. So I think the association has to remain agile, as you people have to actually further engage, and not only just engage with your customers, which may be government department or private industry, also engage at some level with the general public. I think we have an example of some of our association when we try to engage with the school students, organize some quiz, etc., etc. So maybe a portion of your industrial association should actually engage with that, because what will happen, a kind of positive environment will be created, and good environment gets created, and good opinion makers can emerge out of any sector. So I think it may not give you a business immediately, but I think you, apart from doing some society social service or some public service, you will also ultimately gain in terms of your own business. So I think we have to flag all these issues in our mind, and books like this will be very useful, because you can reach to different types of people through these kind of books. Also try to develop little more simpler things for those kind of target groups, especially the educational institutions, systems. Suppose somewhere in the universities they are teaching these things, can we give them some of the latest inputs? Can we develop some modules for those kind of universities? Can we do some of these together? And not only NMCG, I am telling you, many of these mission directors will be very willing to work with you. You know, NMCG, certainly I am all for it, for this kind of collaborative work in future, and you are most welcome to work with us. We really welcome you, all of you, with the open arm to develop. It may not only help NMCG, but actually it will help a kind of river rejuvenation sector at large, water management sector at large, and also common people at large. So I think let's look at some of these possibilities, some of these aspects, and some of these potential. Once again, before I close, I convey my best wishes to each one of you, all the members of the association, and end with a note of collaboration. Let us collaborate. That's the only option when you are dealing with a complicated sector like water, urban, city and water put together, urban system, urban planning and water management put together. I think and environmental issues also in that. It's a complicated sector. It's a complex sector. And only when you deal with multiple stakeholders through multiple kind of approach, things will improve. And we have been improving. We are seeing improvement. I am quite hopeful that future will be even more optimistic, and we would be able to manage our water sustainably, productively, and come over this kind of scarcity or the stress which we see in many sectors at present. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. May I request all the dignitaries to sir, to release the report by opening the ribbon, and everyone has a copy of the report. If they can also join sir and join in the release of the report.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you for such a nice talk. You shared a lot of valuable information. And you're very right. When Prime Minister invited a set of bureaucrats a couple of years ago, that triggered a change in the country in terms of utilization of geospatial technologies. And the second major thrust came earlier in this year, in February, when government came with new geospatial data guidelines. And in early March, government also released a new geospatial policy a draft policy. Of course, it's still under finalization. But these two things are going to have a huge change in the way geospatial technologies are being used in many, many programs across the country. So I think these are some very good initiatives which are being taken by the top leadership of the country to grow the geospatial economy, which in turn will help in growing the economy towards $5 trillion, which is the goal set by the Prime Minister for the country. So thank you so much, sir, for your nice words and sharing your insights. Handing over back to Megha now.
Thank you, Gendra, for your inputs, and thank you so much for a very insightful talk, sir. A lot of the things that you said are very relevant, and we as an industry association will definitely look into how we can work better and more in an engaged manner with different stakeholders, including students, including the larger population, and of course state and central government agencies. So with this, I would just like to present a very brief presentation which will give you an overview of the report and to the audience as well of what this report is all about. Yeah. So the presentation is basically divided into three parts. The first part I'll be talking about the background, what motivated us to bring out this report, what were the objectives, how we gathered the information, what kind of people participated in giving their inputs for the report. The second part will be talking about the content of the report, which is, what are the kind of projects we've covered, what technologies we've covered, and how we have assessed the impact, the application of these technologies for these different water projects. And lastly, of course, the key takeaways, as Sir had mentioned. And I will be ending with some acknowledgements to people who have contributed to this report. So the objective of bringing out this report was to understand the current adoption of geospatial technologies in the national level water programs in India, and to present the potential uses, the uses which are not still being applied, but they do hold potential for the water sector in India to make India a water secure country. The second objective was to assess the roadblocks in technology adoption. So if there is a roadblock in any of the programs, and what it is and why is it so, and of course then to bring out suitable recommendations to the stakeholders on how to overcome those. Lastly, we've also tried to present some case studies and good practices, as I had mentioned, and some openly available tools that are useful for water sector professionals from around the world. So as Sri had already mentioned, the first step that AGI took last year was to form a steering committee on water utilities, which had participation from AGI member companies. And we had several rounds of meetings where we discussed the kind of projects that are going on, what are the potential applications of geospatial technologies which are taking place, what kind of programs we need to include, etc. Then a lot of secondary research was done based on the Jal Shakti Ministry and other key agency websites and the documents which are available in the public domain, as well as state government websites and their relevant resources. Our AGI members also provided a lot of secondary research material like case studies and their own experiences of working in this sector. Then through the steering committee, we held a number of one-on-one interviews and meetings with senior officials from central and state government agencies and other key agencies. And lastly, as was mentioned earlier, we organized a 3-day India Geospatial Leadership Summit in February with the theme on water security, in which more than 50 participants had joined, and they shared their experience and their vision of using geospatial technologies in the water sector. So that's how we gathered information for this report. In total, more than 60 mid to senior level professionals contributed to the report. From the water sector, we had organizations like, of course, National Mission for Clean Ganga, Central Water Commission, Central Water Board, Ganga Flood Control Board, Bhakra Bias Management Board, National Water Development Authority, and many more. The geospatial agencies, as Sir has mentioned, we have gathered information from NRSC, ISRO, Survey of India, NIC, IMD, etc. From the academia and other stakeholders, we had inputs from National Institute of Hydrography, IIST, IIT Delhi, World Bank, etc. And of course, the geospatial industry constituting mostly of AGI members. Mr. Mishra had also mentioned in his talk about understanding the ecosystem, the geospatial and the water ecosystem, which actually impacts the adoption of technology. And in our assessment, what we have kind of arranged is in one hand, there are the policymakers like DST and MeitY or Ministry of Jal Shakti, who are responsible for creating a conducive environment for technology adoption. So as again I had mentioned, the new draft policy on geospatial technologies and the guidelines are one such example, which is going to really boost the adoption of technology. Second, of course, are the funding agencies like the World Bank, ADB, JICA, and other agencies which fund water-related projects, and they also put a lot of emphasis on the use of technology in the project's implementation. Then we have academic and research institutes which provide training and technical support like the National Water Academy, WALMI, Rajiv Gandhi National Groundwater Training and Research Institute, etc. Then we have the National Geospatial Agencies, which provide the core authenticated geospatial data and services, which include, of course, NRSC, ISRO, Survey of India, Forest Survey of India, etc. Of course, we have the private sector, which provide the geospatial as well as the digital technology and infrastructure, including the hardware, software, data, solutions and services. And at the core, I would say, are the water sector agencies, which are all the public and private agencies at the central and state level, which are responsible for maintaining and managing water resources. So in this report, we've covered around 15 projects, which include the Jal Jeevan Mission, both rural and urban, Namami Gange, the DRIP or the Dam Rehabilitation Project, National River Linking Project, the water supply part of the Amrut Cities project, then National Hydrography Program, Pradhan Mantri Krishi Sinchai Yojana, Neeranchal Watershed Project, the National Aquifer Mapping and Management Program, River Basin Management, Flood Management and Border Areas Program, Atal Bhujal Yojana, National Water Mission, and various water resources programs or multi-purpose river valley projects. The information that we have covered for all these projects and programs include the scope, the budgets, the duration from when it started until when it's going to be covered, and the geographic coverage, which are the states which are being covered in these programs, the responsible ministries and the other stakeholders, the current and the potential geospatial technology adoption. Another technology gamut, we have covered all the technologies which include the geospatial as well as digital technologies like remote sensing, survey, GNSS, GIS or spatial analytics, artificial intelligence, big data analytics, Internet of Things, 5G, robotics, and digital twin. So seeing the application of these technologies on the sector. So coming very briefly to the current capabilities of geospatial industry, the industry has really matured over the past, I would say 5 years or 10 years. And now, the kind of data and the kind of solutions which are available is really astounding. We have daily to sub-daily revisit satellite imagery available, analysis-ready base maps, cloud-free coverage of satellite imagery, delivering satellite data within 24 hours of data capture, thereby reducing the gap to less than an hour, capturing entire landmass of India in 3D within 3 months, availability of robotic sensors for capturing data of inaccessible places, integrating historical data, for example, water level changes, rainfall, etc., automatic feature extraction, IoT integration and predictive analytics for real-time analytics in real time, and we have availability of ready-to-use GIS-based solutions, templates and models, and dashboards for monitoring and decision-making. So this figure, which is given in the report, gives a very brief snapshot of the kind of applications that we have seen taking place in India by the combination of geospatial and digital technologies across the different programs and projects. Very briefly, I would like to summarize the key recommendations, a lot of which, Sir had also mentioned. which we as an industry body are willing to work further with all the government and private user entities. So first is to have develop a long-term geospatial vision when we are implementing a program, and also to have an integrated geospatial platform. So this means that not just using technology for a certain problem or a certain purpose, which is very present, which is very current, but to have a long-term vision of how you can use geospatial technologies in multiple ways, which can have a kind of a amplified effect in the next 5 years or 10 years of the program implementation. Second is to ensure cross-sectoral integration through hiring of domain experts within the industry and setting up of geospatial units within the government departments which are water related. So what we saw is that there has to be a deeper integration of geospatial within the water sector, as well as the water professionals within the geospatial domain, so that there is better understanding and better collaboration and application of technology. Third would be to encourage knowledge exchange, that, like Sir very rightly said, through best practices, capacity development initiatives, hand holdings, or even with students of various levels. Third is to increase the appreciation and understanding of geospatial technology adoption and its nuances. That means that geospatial technology, it's a very long-term kind of a technology. It's not something that you can. It would not be the best to use it for a certain purpose, but to integrate, like as I've already said. So to continuously look at data update. It's not something that you do once and then you forget. So looking at how to take the implementation of technology within programs in a long-term duration. The provision of continuous data update, that's what I said already. Have a stronger focus on research and development from both the industry as well as the water sector side, and making data available for research and development. That is very critical. Building stronger public-private partnerships and collaborations. And lastly, highlighting India's leadership by developing strong bilateral and multilateral initiatives in the water sector with our friendly neighbors. So with this, I would just like to acknowledge the contribution of all the speakers and panelists of India Geospatial Leadership Summit and the interviewees who spared their time to join us and share their wisdom and their experience, which has contributed a lot to this development of this report. Of course, a lot of credit goes to the Water Committee, which consisted of Mr. Vasudev Rao from Hexagon, Mr. Manish Ingle from Sciences, Mr. G.V. Sriramam, NeoGeo Info Technologies, Mr. Priyank Mittal from ASRI India, and Ms. Kavita Pandey from Here Technologies. And last but not the least, I would like to acknowledge the AGI India Governing Council, who have given the direction and the strategy for developing this report, and for all the various kind of collaborations that we have done over the past many years. Mr. Agendra Kumar, ESRI India, Mr. Sai Arol from Maxar Intelligence, Mr. Pramod Kaushik from Hexagon India, Mr. Rajan Iyer from Trimble Navigation, Mr. Sajid Malik from Genesis International, Mr. Aman Jain from Google India, Mr. Rajesh Ala, IIC Technologies, Dr. A. Jeraban from SECON, Mr. G.V. Sriramam from NeoGeo Info Technologies, Mr. Abhay Kimatkar from Sciences Tech, Mr. Nikhil Kumar from Here Technologies, Mr. Vishal Bargat from Cybertech, Dr. Atul Kapoor from ML Infomap, and Mr. Prashant Joshi from Geospatial World. A very hearty thanks to all of them. And with this, I would just like to wind up my brief presentation, and I look forward to answering any questions that anyone would have post the webinar. We will be putting up the link to download the report on our social media posts, and we will be also informing everyone personally. We will also be posting some of the hard copy to our key contributors. So with this, I would like to invite Mr. D.P. Mathuria, if you would like to share a few words, sir.
Mr. Mathuria had to just leave because a parliamentary question briefing by Honorable Minister, so he had just rushed there. That got scheduled at 12:30. So he just left. He was there till 5 minutes ago.
Okay, sir. No worries. So may I request Mr. Vasudev Rao to please share his closing remarks?
I would just take the liberty to just add here, you have thanked a lot of people in making this report. Your contribution to this report cannot be overemphasized. Megha has coordinated with all the people across all the organizations that we spoke to, and she actually coordinated with all of us to come back from our professional commitments to actually commit to this report also. So her effort is really a very important effort, and thank you, Megha, also for bringing out this report so well.
Thank you. Thank you, Sri. Really appreciate it.
All right. Thank you very much. Sir, thank you very much for joining us. And then we from the industrial geospatial industry backgrounds, we wanted to emphasize that with this report that geospatial will play a major role in various decision-making systems in various sectors. But since it has been talked about the water sector, the projects which has been implemented successfully has been listed out here. That will give a lot of information to other departments who are wanted to get onto geospatial technology to be used in their project. So this geospatial will become an enabler for the effective decision makings and help them out to reach their goals, and then help them out in various aspects. So that's where, and as you rightly said, sir, you talked about a collaboration. So industry is available, and then the department like NMCG or CGWB or CWC or many other water agencies are willing to collaborate with us, and we in the similar fashion wanted to collaborate with. So that way we can able to build an ecosystem which will be very beneficial in terms of water management, in terms of project development, DPRs, and many other areas. So that's a great to hear from you, sir. That makes a lot. And then with respect to a lot of people who are contributing towards this report, hopefully that this report will give you a lot of information to the agencies, government as well as private organizations, where how the geospatial technology, not to say that, but geospatial will become as an enabler for various decision making. So thank you very much for
Thank you, Vasu. And thank you once again to Mr. Mishra and to Mr. Mathuria for joining us today, and Mr. Piyush Gupta for coordinating and ensuring that we are all here together today. Thank you, everyone from the side of AGI. I would like to sign off now. Thank you for joining us today, and we will surely send you the link of the report soon.
Thank you. Thank you all of you. Best wishes.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. Thank you all.